Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Higher or Lower, the show brought to you by oddschecker, Sporting Index and Spreadex as we look ahead to the weekend's football and say if we think the eventual results of the spread betting markets will finish higher or lower than the midpoint. I am your host, George Ellick, delighted to be joined by Jack Wright.
Hello.
Jack, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
And Dan Worth. Oh, yeah, good, thanks.
Good.
And Dan Worth, how are you?
I'm good.
Great, you were at a gig last night?
I was, yeah.
Was that fun?
It was very fun. It was a band I've never heard of called Keo, and they were great. I'll listen to much more of them.
My next question was going to be, will you listen to more of them? And you've answered that already.
I will.
Okay, fine. From music to Hollywood, as we look at Friday night between Wrexham and Coventry City. Coventry, the runaway leaders at the top of the Championship. Wrexham had been improving in the Championship, but then humbled in midweek in an all-Wales clash in the Carabao Cup, beaten at home by Cardiff City 2-1. We are looking at the total goals market here with Spreadex. The sell price is 2.7, the buy price is 2.9. 2.8 is the midpoint. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, this is a massive head scratcher for me because on the one part you've got, I don't want to take all your lines, but Coventry have scored 34 goals this season, the best team in the league. Wrexham, I think, fourth for expected goals against. Like, surely they're just going to win like 7-2.
Hopefully.
But there's a part of this where Coventry have scored their 34 goals from 27.2 xG. They are scoring so many goals, rifled in from the edge of the area, which just cannot continue. I think Coventry will continue to be very good because they are putting a massive margin of victory between them and their opposition, which means that they can afford to basically stop scoring as many goals and still win games. But at some point, they're going to stop scoring the amount of 20 to 35 yarders that they're scoring, right? And that's going to come at some point. With Wrexham, I saw Wrexham in the flesh last week, and I was pretty impressed with them defensively. And there has been a very notable shift in their defensive aptitude with and without Conor Coady on the pitch. Conor Coady started the season at the heart of their back three and they were shipping goals and chances consistently. He was then taken out. Dominic Hyam has come in, who's a very, very good Championship centre back. And ever since then, they've looked way better at the back. Not great going forward, but way better at the back. And then what happened in midweek? Coady comes back in the side and Cardiff run them ragged. So there's no way he's going to start here. And I think that genuinely has a huge impact on Wrexham as a team. So it's kind of balanced between me thinking the Wrexham are actually not a bad defensive side at the moment with the new team that they're putting out. Flanked with the fact that Coventry are going to drop off relatively soon, I think this could easily be a low-scoring game. And even though Coventry are so good away from home, I'm going to just err on that side. But what I would caveat that by saying is that I wouldn't have bet myself because with Coventry games, there's every chance it could spiral out of control. But on the balance of probability, do I think it will be 0-1 or 2? Or higher? I'm going lower. Jack?
Yeah, pretty much the opposite, really. I just feel that...
You think Conor Coady's brilliant?
Conor, I've got not a problem with you.
I don't have a problem with him either. Hold on.
Well, I don't know. He sounded like you did have a little bit.
You just said it was the opposite, so that's the opposite.
Yeah, yes, in the respect that I think that there is more chance of 3, 4 or more goals than 0 or 1 or 2. Basically, because Coventry have been so good this season. They've got so many exciting forward players, goals throughout the team. Wrexham do concede. I think Wrexham are probably good for a goal in this as well, but I do think Coventry are going to win it. So my basics on it is that I think that it will be a higher scoring win for Coventry. We'll go and show their class. Simple as that. Yeah, I just fancy there to be goals.
Dan?
Yeah, same for me. Wrexham have scored in every home league game this season, so I'm backing them to do the same here.
Sounds unsustainable to me, that.
Do you think? Just one goal?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They'll draw a blank at some point, won't they?
Probably, yeah. Not here.
Right.
And Coventry have scored twice as many goals on the road as any other team in the league. Only 2 teams have conceded more at home than Wrexham. I think that shapes up for a Coventry win. Wrexham getting on the score sheet, that's 3 goals minimum.
Cool. Tottenham-Chelsea in big derby game, big London derby. And Chelsea are just favourites over Spurs, despite being away from home in the supremacy market. 0 to sell, 0.2 to buy here. So 0.1 is the midpoint. So going lower, you are getting a draw, which I think, knowing this man next to me, might be significant. Higher, Chelsea win, lower, Tottenham will draw. You've just changed. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you play the maths.
I had to play the maths here,
boring, yeah. But whatever.
Well, it's been, why change the habits of a lifetime? I find it really tough to call. So on the basis of that, the fact here I can get Tottenham win and the draw on side. I'll take that. 2 joint top goal scorers alongside Manchester City in the Premier League. I think it could be a fun, open game. It could be a game of fine margins. This could be a 3-2 kind of result either way. Or so we could end up with honours shared. Spurs have been very, very poor at home, but this Chelsea side at the moment just inconsistent. And the thing that puts me off them was that performance last week against Sunderland where they lost. Now, if it was just a loss, you go, well, it can happen. But the fact they lost the XG battle in that as well, didn't even get to 1 XG, 0.97 versus 1.16. And it just feels that they are... Maresca just seems to be one game away from being under pressure all the time. And of course, they had that midweek game as well against Wolves, which is another crazy game. 7-goal thriller, coasted into a lead. You thought, well, that's kind of that game done and dusted. But still, and another thing that they keep doing, we talked about this before, another red card. You know, they just constantly seem to be poor discipline as well, conceding lots of goals and being reduced to 10 men. So not a good combination. João Pedro as well, struggling for goals in that kind of striker area. Maresca said he's carrying an injury. Those kind of things just are knitting together for me to think the Tottenham side with momentum got to turn it around at home. I think they possibly can here. I think they were pretty good against Newcastle, but just got undone by a decent side and also made a couple of errors themselves. Fairly rotated, especially in defensive areas. But yeah, I think that Spurs can get a positive result of some description in this one.
Dan?
Chelsea got a pretty good record against Tottenham.
They have a very good record.
Particularly away at Tottenham. They've won 5 of the last 6. I think they call it 3 points lane, don't they? Or they used to anyway. And as you said, yeah, Spurs have been pretty poor at home, only beaten Burnley so far this season. So I fancy Chelsea to get a result. I'm not super strong on it because I think in this game literally anything could happen. I wouldn't be certain on either team. But yeah, I just think because of the recent form away at Tottenham that Chelsea might nick the win here.
Refusing to take 2 results over 1 then. Interesting.
Yeah, there's... Tottenham is sitting 3rd in the Premier League at the moment. It doesn't really feel that way, does it? With the way they're being spoken about. And I think that's fair enough. Like, some very good early season form, in particular the 2-0 win away at Man City, but the numbers have been quite concerning throughout, and it's always pointed at the possibility of a drop-off. And basically, ever since the 2-2 draw against Bodo Glimt in the Champions League, where they were poor, they beat Leeds next time out, but in a game where they weren't great, they were then beaten by Villa. Obviously, the result against Everton was a return to where they want to be, but I'm not convinced they're any better than kind of I don't know the 3rd best team in the league, let's say that. I think with Chelsea, the potential is there for them to be much, much better. Obviously, the Sunderland result was a big frustration for them, but Sunderland are a pretty tough nut to crack, and I think teams like Chelsea often struggle when they're playing against teams who are so good out of possession. Frank teams generally are that, but I think Spurs are struggling to basically prevent the opposition from turning possessions into chances, and that's where Chelsea flourish and thrive. So, off the back of scoring 4 goals away from home in midweek and the cup, albeit conceding 3, I think Chelsea will win this, despite being very aware that I'm backing the odds against shot in that game. Liverpool hosting Aston Villa next up. Total goal minutes is the market we're looking at here. 159 is the sell price, 174 is the buy price. Producer Dan has given me a bizarre midpoint of 171.5, which I'd have no idea how you got to that.
Because that would be quite high.
165.5? No, 166.5. Yeah, fine. 166.5 is the midpoint.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Just with Liverpool at the moment, just goals.
Yeah.
The line can't be high enough. They absolutely cannot defend at all. And going forward, they still have elite players. Even as we saw against Brentford, when there was a pretty disjointed attacking performance, they still scored 2 goals thanks to the individual quality of their players. I think that this could be a ridiculous scoreline. And we also saw late on in the Liverpool game at Brentford, the game just turned into a complete mess in terms of both teams just throwing men forward. With Villa and Unai Emery, we know how they approach games. We know they're 100% going to take the game to Liverpool and try and use their attacking threat in order to breach them, and that won't change. They went 1-0 up against City on the weekend and dominated possession, having gone ahead, which is basically unheard of against a Pep Guardiola team, until the last kind of 15 minutes or so. I think this is Villa are a very good attacking side where the ideology and with the way they approach games is to attack. Liverpool just at the moment, obviously are really struggling to prevent teams from creating chances. So yeah, I think this could be a silly scoreline. Jack?
I think Villa might get something out of this, a positive result out of this. And I think they might well use that Manchester City result as a bit of a template. I know they were at home to City and obviously away here, but I also think that going to Anfield at the moment is not such a daunting prospect as it has been for years. It will be a little bit nervy. I think the run of results that Liverpool have been on, the pressure's bizarre, incredibly under Arne Slot at this moment in time, and I think that will translate onto the pitch. And so those defensive issues, I don't think will go away, and Villa can take advantage of it. But what I do like about Villa is that defensive process over recent weeks has been sensational, and really any team that can keep Erling Haaland out can keep pretty much anyone out in the world. So I'm going along that route that that defensive organisation and process will be good enough to limit Liverpool, and they will look to get a goal on the break, or say through the methods you then talked about, and be able to defend it out. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be a massive high scoring affair. So I'm going lower.
Yeah, same. I think Liverpool really struggled to break Villa down, and I just don't see this game unravelling in the way that you do. The average for Liverpool total goal minutes is 71 minutes, 81 for Villa, so if you combine them, still under this line. So I'm
that's
really...
because that was that weird early season thing where Liverpool games were basically 0-0 until the 90th minute. But yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that it?
We'll find out, yeah.
Great. We're going to come to you first next, because I know that you are very keen on your Scottish football.
Yes.
And it is the Old Firm this weekend. Celtic hosting Rangers. Celtic with Martin O'Neill in charge. Rangers with Danny Hurl in charge. What's wrong?
Wow, Martin O'Neill. Weren't expecting that at the start of the season.
No, I don't think he was expecting it 2 hours before he was announced. Given he was live on the radio saying he thought Hearts were going to win the league.
Yeah.
A great start for O'Neill. A 4-0 win against Falkirk last night. Whilst Hearts dropped points, Rangers winning 1-0 away from home as well. So the Old Firm are biting back, but they both can't win here, can they? The supremacy market is what we're looking at here. 0.8 is the sell price, Celtic over Rangers. 1 is the buy price, so it's 0.9 is the midpoint here. So higher is 1, is basically Celtic win. Lower is Rangers or draw. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, fine, I can go first for sure. I just think, given what you said, 2 new managers in, I think it could be quite cagey and quite tight, plus the fact it's obviously a massive derby. And Rangers have a pretty good record in this fixture. Unbeaten in the last 4 against Celtic, and drawn the last 2. So obviously I get drawn side there. I like Scottish football, I'm not the most knowledgeable on it, so I think in that case, getting 2 results on side has to be the play.
So when I first saw this come through, before I started my hours of research, I was convinced I'd be on your side. But, Martin O'Neill versus Danny Röhl in the dugout is amazing. But I thought I'd be on the side of Röhl. But just looking at the midweek performances, Celtic, I know it's Falkirk. I don't know a great deal about Falkirk, but it's Falkirk. Celtic just battered them. They won 4-0. The XG was 4.7. They had 1 million shots to Falkirk's very few. Obviously something happened there. And I don't know if anyone read the statement from Dermot Desmond around Brendan Rodgers' sacking, but it does feel like more so than ever some kind of rot had set in at Celtic, and it does feel like the arrival of a few club legends, Sean Maloney, flanking Martin O'Neill, and a couple of backroom staff too. A thumping home win over Falkirk seems like a pretty good way to get things going towards the weekend. Obviously, Rangers had a good away win as well, less in their performance to suggest they're particularly good. Celtic obviously seemed to be the better side early on in the season, have picked up more points. I just think Celtic are heavy odds on to win this, and I'm happy to side with that. What do you think?
Very, very, very tough. I was more confident in the fact I've gone lower before that Martin O'Neill appointment. The feel-good factor, I don't think can be underplayed really. So that was the concern. But I think it's a real tough one to call because there's so many questions to be answered. Get it the right way around. Questions to be answered in it. So I'm going to kind of sit on the fence and take the 2 results on board. And that recent Rangers record against Celtic, when Celtic have probably been a lot better than Rangers over the last 5-6 games, and Rangers have still managed to get a positive result from those fixtures, suggests to me that they might well be able to do it this time. As I said, I was certainly more confident before Martin O'Neill come in and that feel-good factor. But I'll take the two results in my pocket for this one.
Okay, Manchester City hosting Bournemouth next up. Total goals is the market we're looking at here. Sporting Index have the sell price is 3.15, the buy price is 3.35, so the midpoint 3.25. So selling here, 3 or fewer goals, buying 4 or more. City hosting Bournemouth. 3, 2, 1. Dan.
It's starting to get a bit cold, isn't it?
What?
Just a weather joke. I haven't made one for a long time. But more than 3 goals, quite high. Although, again, I'm stealing your lines, but 3 of Bournemouth's away games have gone over this line. There's been lots of goals when Bournemouth have travelled, and these 2 are 2 of the top scoring teams in the league. But I'm leaning very heavily here on Manchester City, and the fact that they're not really conceding. And I think if there are any teams, obviously Arsenal have a better defence than City, in my opinion, but if there are any teams that are going to shut out Bournemouth, I think City are the ones. So, yeah, 3 or fewer, please.
I've just realised, whilst we're recording, that Sarr goal for Spurs in the 89th minute cost me a sweep last week.
Well done.
Thank you.
Good week.
Right, I think this is just 2 teams who are attacking with fluency, unbelievable attacking players. Bournemouth this season have already scored 16 goals and conceded 11. City have already scored 17 goals this season. Like, it just, again, feels like a massive goal fest to me. I don't really see a world where this doesn't descend into attackers having their moments rather than it being defences on top.
Yeah, same. I think when Haaland's playing as well, it just basically you think, well, there's a couple of goals already chalked off there. He drew a blank last week, so that's some kind of drought for him. So I'm sure he'll bounce back this weekend. But they did play 3 times last season, 3 goals, and 4 goals. So we're obviously dancing around this line. But I think that I'm, again, more certain that there's going to be 3 or more than 0, 1 or 2, so I've got more upside. This could unravel. We've seen Bournemouth games do that already this season, and the meetings between the 2 sides have generally produced goals. The last 8 Premier League meetings have seen 31 goals at an average of 3.88. There's been 4 or more in 5 of those games, 3 in 2 of those games, and only 0, 1 or 2 in 1 of those games. So a good record. Haaland, Semenyo, really looking forward to that kind of shootout, and also the wild card, Eli Krupi coming in, who's scored a couple of tap-ins. He's also scored a 30-yard screamer, and has got an average. I think he's got his goals per minute on the pitch is something like 41, which is the best in the Premier League at the moment. So should be fun, should be exciting, and it should be full of goals.
Great stuff. Yeah, one more game to cover before we get on to our naps. Sunderland hosting Everton. For a second, Everton hosting Sunderland. That'd been wrong, wouldn't it? Total goal minutes here: 116 to sell, 126 to buy. This is low. 121 is the midpoint.
There's only one correct answer here.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, what?
It's quite low, isn't it?
It's super low.
It's very low, 121.
Yeah.
Do you realise you put up lower?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Everton struggled to score on the road, don't they? They've fired 3 blanks so far away from home this season, and Sunderland have kept 2 clean sheets from their 4 home league games. So if this could be 0-0, that would be a lovely result for me. I think you've got 2 evenly matched sides here, and I think that leads to a tight game. I know Sunderland have been in great form. Everton started okay and have kind of dropped off a little bit. But yeah, I think these are very evenly matched. I think this will be a tight one. And as I say, if it can be 0-0, I'll be very, very happy.
Jack.
Monday night, Stadium of Light, Sunderland rocking, bouncing, side that are absolutely flying and deserve to be flying as well. They're doing so well. That win at Chelsea would have been a massive boost, because we've all really been saying that the home form is crucial, but to go and pick up 3 points, and deservedly so, as already mentioned, at Stamford Bridge, is massive for them. They have got threat. They've got key elements of throughout the team working and performing really, really well. I think they really fancy this against the Everton side that have tailed off. They've struggled over the last few games. So I do think Sunderland win it. Now, my thinking is it probably won't be a goal fest. It probably won't be where we're getting a 4-3 result and therefore going massively over the line. But I think it might well be a case that we get a goal or 2 late in the day, which, as we've said before, if you get a couple of goals after the 60th minute, this bet cashes. So, higher for me.
Higher for you?
Higher for me.
Yeah, I just think it's incredibly low. It's basically not really a Premier League game where I would ever go lower at this line. I get that They're perceived to be two relatively defensive sides. I think you can mistake Sunderland's out of possession shape for being defensive. They offer a big threat on the counter-attack and in transition. I think Everton this season are a different beast. I know what you said about their away form, but they will score goals on the road. It's not like they're going to draw a blank every game.
Yeah.
With the players they've got, certainly in a game here where they'll probably have a lot more of the ball than they're used to having, I think they'll carry a threat. So, yeah, it seems wildly low to me, that.
I saw a stat this week, I think, about Sunderland saying, I know it's based on possession, etc., but I think they've got in the top 2 for percentage of passes that actually go forward in the Premier League, which shows you, like I say, the counter-attacking style, and also the fact that they will look to go in attack sides rather than, say, mess around with it at the back and so on. So, I think there's lots of threat in this.
Great. Nap time. Here we go. Best bets of the weekend, starting with the Nap Prince. Damn right.
I mean, I'm getting relegated every week.
Yeah. We haven't had one for one of you.
It's been a little while, but this week I'm feeling quite confident.
Right.
I'm going back to a game we've already covered. Tottenham versus Chelsea. Only one market.
And you sided with Chelsea, so knowing you'll probably be buying Tottenham goal minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm going for Solanke goal. No, I'm not. I'm going for bookings. I'm buying bookings at 50 on the dot.
Who's on the whistle?
Well, we're ignoring that.
No, who is it?
It's Jared Gillett. So not horrendous.
He hates cards.
But not been a great start to the season.
You send him a
far.
card on his birthday, he's absolutely livid.
Straight in the fire. 3.33 average yellows, so that's not good enough for me here. I'll completely ignore what we've already spoken about. Chelsea get a red card quite frequently, so often this season, and I'm looking at recent record between these two teams. 100 points, 50 points push, 10 points loss, 130 points, massive winner, 50 points push. So given that Chelsea seem to be often in the referee's book at the moment and getting loads of yellows, I'm going to go higher.
What was the points one there? Were there 2 reds, didn't they? Like, season before last, was it?
Yeah, I think that was the 130.
130 was it? Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah, lots of cards in my memory of this game. So hopefully loads this weekend.
Okay, Jack, what's yours?
Championship for me.
Norwich Hull?
Well, I still can. I was tempted.
I'm going there.
Oh yeah, well, go on then. You do that. I'm going Watford, Middlesbrough.
Okay, I reckon you are going to go total goal minutes.
Close.
Watford goal minutes.
Watford total goal minutes. Yeah. Midpoint 61. I'm going higher. Simple. I just like the way Watford are attacking sides at the minute. Obviously, under Grazia back again when he was there first time round. Very attacking. Scored lots of goals. Did very well. Got some great results for Watford. And it seems like he's found again this sort of happy place. I don't get too used to it, obviously, but he is doing really, really well. 2 or more goals at home in 5 of their 6 home clashes so far this season. Yes, Middlesbrough are quite tight defensively, but I just think that Watford have just got to attack as their best form of defence. So they've got to go and score goals, and I think they might get a bit of joy against Middlesbrough and get another 2 or more in this one. So yeah, 61 for me, the midpoint higher.
Yeah, I'm going to Carrow Road. It's the same. I'm not going for a couple of weeks. It's the same market that I put up against Bristol City, which was basically a push. Hull total goal minutes 64 to buy. Like, I'm not going to go through the Norwich at home second half stats again, but they've lost 5 from 5, and they're playing the perfect team for this. Where Hull are total chaos, right? They have a game state is irrelevant. No matter what's happening in the game, they are throwing men forward. We've seen them score already this season. 3 at Wrexham in the cup. They scored 3 against Oxford in the league. 2 against Bristol City in a 4-2 defeat. 2 against Swansea. 3 against Southampton. 2 against Preston. 3 against Birmingham away from home. Like if Norwich roll over like they have been doing recently in the second half, I think we're going to see a lot of goal mouth action for Hull. So it's not a particularly prohibitive line. You only probably have to ask them to score a goal to kind of limit the losses, and could even be a winner if the goal comes late on. So yeah, 64 Hull total goal minutes is a huge buy in my mind. There you go. That brings this episode of Higher or Lower to a close. Make sure you sign up for a SpreadX or Sporting Index account if you haven't already got one. The link is in the show description. There is a new customer offer there. Make sure you read the T's and C's. And remember that losses can exceed your initial deposit when it comes to spread betting, and do read up on the risks of spread betting before depositing and playing. Oddschecker have you covered for your fixed odds betting needs across sports. WhoScored.com has all the stats needed to inform your betting. Thank you to Jack.
Thank you, George.
Thank you to Dan.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next week. But in the meantime, enjoy the football, and please ensure that you are gambling responsibly.